רקורדינג. זה טכנית אמור להיות חלק שני של הלייב, אבל באמת. הלייב עצמו דווקא לא נחתך בשום מצב, אז כאילו... איך מחשבים מצב כזה? טוב, whatever. וכן, אני לא יכולה לפתוח את הלייב אצלי בטלפון. משום מה. אני אסגור אולי ואפתח בחזרה את יוטיוב. לא. אוקיי, אז נראה שיש בעיות עם הסטרים להקליט דברים. אבל לפחות אני אמשיך את זה כהקלטה, כי... למה לא? אז... כשנחזור למשחק. אני פשוט אגיע ליותר נקודה שאני הייתי בה קודם, כי לקח לי קצת זמן לחזור לפה. אני כן המשכתי דברים. פה. אז הנה, מפה זה הולך להמשיך להיות איך שאני עשיתי את זה קודם. Yes, that's so. There were bullets in the room, yes. But they were in the wall, the door is on. You see? Assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes. You. Lammy War. Yes. I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something. And I must tell you what it is that I saw. Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded. And I'm certain it will be on the news in Virginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It fails to you to avoid tarnishing it. Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Latius died, and he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lammy War. Very well, Lammy War. Please continue your testimony. Very well, I shall. Okay. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was a little window there. That's how I saw it. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Machi. It was a grown person. I know it was. So you did witness the crime. And the killer was a grown person, you say? This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Hair Forehead. הנה, עכשיו הלייב עובד. אבל הוא עושה לאגים, of course. למה שזה לא? Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination. Where are you going, Apollo? You were right about Lammy War. What's wrong? You don't look too happy. This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. Okay. And it's it was like a window, that's how I saw it. There were 2 shots, I couldn't stop it. It wasn't Machi, it was a grown man. A grown person? That's a little vague. I am sorry. my skills with your language is lacking, I know. Certainly, you could at least see whether the show was male or female. It was a man, a young man. And you're sure of that? Yes, his voice is quite clear. Voice? Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. Thus, it's likely you won't have a clear view of the shooter. As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man. So you heard the voice. But wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouche? Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Latouche who spoke, I would have known. Indeed. So you were at the window, and you heard the shooter's voice. The voice of a young man. Ah, this is a good testimony. That person watching, it was a Machi. Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case into a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion on this? It's pretty good! Well, I would have to say it's pretty good. Vital, even. They show that the shooter wasn't Machi. Surely you can't be serious, her forehead. Why not? Namiwa, understand why you would want to protect Machi. Remember, you are the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become such a creature. What does the prosecution mean? Paulo, what's he talking about? How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? I record the state of the crime scene quite well. The state of the room? Yes, and when the murder took place, that window was closed. Okay. אפשר לשמוע קול דרך חלון? I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice for it. What? Well, but I'm sure. מה הבעיה בזה? Nami War? I have nothing but highest regard for your musical sense. But my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser. Objection! But she's the only eyewitness we have! Objection! So you say. And the victim named her the siren as a witness? As the witness? That's right, that's what Mr. Latouche! He had no claim. We've entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Hey, Judge? Yes? The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please. מה? למה? אפשר לשמוע קול דרך חלון, לא? I'm afraid I must honor the process. Ma? There's indeed a question of the witness's credibility. But if Nami War can testify, Then we don't have a chance of proving Machi's innocence. This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case. Duncan, oh, where were we? Ah, yes. I would like to hear from fallen detective again. What, ma?
Objection!
Wait, let me hear Lemuel's testimony one last time. But the cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as a need arises, this witness may leave the stand. Ma? I'm sorry I could not be more assistance. Ma? מה? אפשר לשמוע קולות דרך חלון. על מה אתה מדבר? אפשר לשמוע קולות דרך חלון סגור. למען השם, אבל אפשר לשמוע קולות דרך דלת סגורה. ליטרלי זה היה איך שמצאו את הבודי. איך מצאו בעצם את לטוס? Columbia, what the fuck? Whatever. At last, back to the real trial. Ready here for it? I didn't just miss my only chance. Fallen detective, how far have we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Don't ask me. I dislike saying the same thing twice. And I never repeat a song for an encore. If you would, Miss Sky. I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Latus's killer could have escaped was for that air vent on the ceiling. Ah, yes, there was only one door in the room. And the witness, you, was standing in front of it. That air vent isn't very big, see? That limits the people who could possibly get through. I certainly would have a difficult time. Not sure you sure would. Not that you would have been there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. You know who makes the conditions for a killer is the defendant. A vertical performance. I couldn't have put it better myself. She does state a clear case. Though, reading the report, something caught my eye. Oh? What's that? The circumstances of the defendant's arrest. The circumstances? Again? Hey, that's right, Apollo! Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre. כן, וואו, עכשיו אני חושב על זה עוד פעם. מה להגיד פה? מה הלוג'יק? מאצ'י, כשהוא לקח הפסקה, לקח גופה של מישהו שהוא 20 שנה יותר מבוגר ממנו. רוב הסיכויים גם יותר כבד ממה שהוא יכול להחזיק, במיוחד עם הידיים האלה. להזיז בעצם אותו, ואז אחר כך לשים גיטרה עליו, להזיז את שתיהם ביחד, לשים אותם בסטייג' ואז אחר כך להירדם? ליד? What? She's right. Why did Mr. Otus's body disappear from the room? And end up on top of that stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less. A perceptive observation, Herr Judge. Oh, thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough. Your hand knows for things. The judge sure seems pleased with himself. Ah, very good, Fräulein Detective. Perhaps we can tie it all together for us. Where was the body moved? And how does that lead us to the killer? I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Nami War's song. No one in this country had the motive to kill the victim. And Machi practically left his signature at the scene. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant. Nami War's song? Yes, the guitar serenade. You noticed it's code too, did you not? It's code? Well, the events that day following the lyrics to our song. First, the keys my heart held on to so tightly were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Mr. Latus's life was taken by a bullet. The rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, up together to the sky. That's mad! It's like a story out of some fairy tale. I admit I had forgotten about the song. But there it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale, as it were. Hey, you know I was the one who first noticed that. I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs. But killing? It's a world out there, Herr Judge. Very well. We've heard one song and dance. Let's get on to the next. The cross-examination. I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing. Oh, no shit. Oh my gosh, la cross. Stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match the song. No one in the country had more than kill. But Machi practically left the signature. All this evidence clearly points. Must have left the signature on the scene. What do you mean by his signature? There are bullet holes in the wall, of course. There are bullet holes? The revolver was fired. The revolver was fired twice. Once I missed and left a hole in the wall. And that means what exactly? That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult, almost impossible, to miss at that range. Difficult to miss, you say? Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim. No, you can't be serious! Machi, he can't see! That's why he missed? It's the only explanation that makes sense. Used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly. That reminds me. The monitor in that room was blaring at that time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound. A fine shooter. No wonder he missed. I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Hey, Justice! Oh, no! raise an objection, obviously. Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. But that doesn't prove the shark couldn't see. Oh? How so? Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim. That's certainly possible. And it might have been the revolver's fault. The revolver? The revolver was a very large caliber, correct? The shore wasn't used to firing such a large weapon. Why, it could dislocate the shoulder. Oh, רגע אחד! נתון משהו בנוגע לכתף של מאצ'י? נתון משהו בנוגע לכתף של מאצ'י? אם ככה זה עובר זה כבד מדי, יכול להיות כבד מדי, ובעצם נותן הדף חזק מדי, שבו כל העצמות של מאצ'י שבוע, אבל הוא ליטרלי אדם בחיים, ונראה שהכל בסדר. What the fuck? Exactly. The defendant matched the buyer is, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun missing entirely. The kickback alone would have thrown off his aim. A convincing argument, to be sure. Take that, smart prosecutor. Take that, smart prosecution. Apollo? What? That bit about Machi being tiny. And the gun throwing off his aim. Aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it? Oh. It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Hang on, perhaps I put my foot in it this time. But let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If you'd fallen detective. Very well. The witness will add this to her testimony. Right. The state of the crime scene, I calculated the shooter was blind. From the state of the crime scene? שנייה אחת, חייב רגע לחשוב. אוקיי. Oh! רגע, אז מה עם ה-dying message? מקסימום אין לי בעיה אחר כך לחזור אחר כך לפה ולעשות את כל הדבר הזה מחדש עם ה-voice acting. אין לי בעיה לעשות כל הדבר הזה מחדש רק בשביל שזה יהיה on the record למקרה ויהיה בעיות. אבל מה עם ה-dying message? Objection! Okay. The prosecution holds that the shooter couldn't see. A scientific conclusion based on a thorough examination of the crime scene, yes. Apparently not thorough enough. I have a certain piece of evidence that completely overturns your claim. What? This is that evidence! A photograph of the crime scene? Don't care much what the smirk and prosecutor Yavin's face. This is no time to think twice! Time to press on! Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There is something in here that certainly contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you would be best to show us this something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah? Very well. Show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. The contradiction at this crime scene is... the dying message.
Take that!
The contradiction is right here! There's smeared bloodstains. I thought it was just my blurry vision. But it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head. Much like a gesture I have seen many times in this court. It's almost as if he wrote something. Huh! I get it! At least I think I get it. Get what, Fallen? When Mr. Otis was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write in it but his own blood? Pretty good, huh? Dying message, Ken! Thanks for making my point for me. Yes! In fact, that's what I think happened here. That does seem to be a distinct possibility. The victim wrote the killer's name. It's only a logical conclusion. Drat! Just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that. Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were the killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind. Neither would I. No one has anything else to say? כי אתם יודעים בעצם שאיך אפשר למחוק dying message אם אתה לא יכול לראות. But why? So the prosecution accepts this. You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer. And that the killer tried to rub the name out. What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? Well, Mr. Otis was writing something in blood once the killer saw what it was. They look it out. Wait. Once he saw what it was. But what did you just testify about the shooter? Said there were blood. Ah! Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that! The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they write out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant, much to the bias, blind? He could have been the shooter. Impossible! Yes, well, progress! Let's go! Order! Prosecutor Kevin, please explain to me what this all means! I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see. Yet, up until now... It seems I own the court and apologize. Marshal! The governors are bound with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred. During our concert, apparently discussed some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an immediately timed manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here. Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't. And he's about to tell us.
מה זה הולך לזרוק פתאום? Updated autopsy report! בום! הוא מת אחר כך. אוקיי, obviously זה בדיחה, אבל עדיין. חסר שיזרוק משהו כמו updated autopsy report.
Okay, idea.
Let's rock! These documents. But before that, I have a question for the fallen detective. If I may. What? Tell me. Why do you think that Machito Baye is blind? Huh? What did he say?
What are you saying? Of course he's blind!
Of course.
He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't let me lead him around by hand all the time?
No way. I have a report here on the defendant, Machito Baye. According to this, Machito Baye can see perfectly well.
What?
His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. He can see quite well.
Objection!
למה משקרים כל כך הרבה? What he said!
What did I say exactly?
Your forehead. Not once in the course of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. And the only one who did was fallen detective.
But that's...
A significant fact, yes, considering Machito Baye sees. And he was the only one who could have fled for the event. אבל איך הוא היה יכול להעביר את הגופה? איך הוא היה יכול להעביר את הגופה של הטוס? See no problem with this.
But what about the bullet holes in the wall?
Yes, the bullet holes. I believe her forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the 45 caliber revolver. Oh my god! Simple accident, in other words.
Ah!
How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies. Ah! This is where the real fun begins, now for it. Ow! What the fuck? למה לא התקנת את זה קודם? You bitch! I knew you didn't have what it took. You jerk! Just what was I in for? Comic relief?
Yeah, apologize!
Oh, sorry.
That's no way to apologize!
He's angry at Josie now. Look out! We can please end the bickering now.
Whatever, I'm not leaving! I can't leave like this! I'll come back with some clue to solve this case if it kills me!
But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant.
Don't say that! Ah.
How what?
This bloodstain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right?
That seems to be what happened, yes.
I might be able to find out what was really written there.
Really? You can do that?
That's right. With this.
Oh! Luminol!
It's called Luminol.
Oh my god, Emma!
Maybe you know it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood. Ah, yes. Have we done those tests yet? As if I'm going to tell you.
The bloodstains cover the section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted.
Perhaps we should request it here in court now.
Oh.
זה איכשהו perfect.
Right, go for it, Paul. I have to do that. No, אין לי בעיה! אין לי בעיה לעשות קצת gold classic luminol.
You just have to spread the luminol on it. Simple. Chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard this somewhere.
Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it! Right, buddy. It's easy as pie. Just press space to spray an area. Here, give it a try. The eyes of the entire court are focused on me. How? Your hand's shaking. Let's do this. Gold fashionable. Ooh. Wow. It really works. This must be the power of science. It says IPXX314206.
Is that the killer's name?
Maybe it is. Oh. Maybe it is, if the killer was a robot. Aha! I have it.
So, what is it?
I've heard those letters, IPXX, look familiar. This is an Interpol ID number. Interpol?
Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency?
Yes. Most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes.
Why would he write that number?
Why would Solidus even know a number like that? Good show, Fallen Detective. Rock on! Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come out to the witness stand. Oh, Darian?
Okay.
Darian, you heard what we need. Go check out this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 37. No, give me 27. I'm not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems. If this number really was that of an Interpol agent.
Oh, wait, I know. What if Much Dubai is really an undercover Interpol agent?
That would be a possibility. A possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as a killer was the killer for certain. Why did Mr. Latus know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time until we await Darian's support.
Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we?
A curious mystery concerning Much Dubai. Oh, סליחה. What are you talking about?
Fallen Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could, in fact, see just before the trial began. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you.
אתה fucking צוחק עליי!
You had me until that last bit.
Does it not raise a rather straightforward question?
Well, sure. Why did Machi pretend he couldn't see? Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think, her forehead?
Huh? Me?
Machi Tobaya pretended he was blind.
Do you know why?
How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he?
He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time.
Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of a game? Not that the moment I heard that report, I knew why.
אז משהו משנה בעצם בנוגע לזה שמאצ'י הוא בעצם לא עיוור.
I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else. What does that have to do with anything? There really was a reason why Machi Tobaya pretended he was blind. To be blind. But it wasn't for his own sake. Get the picture now?
It wasn't for himself?
Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows why the defendant had to feign blindness?
למה מאצ'י היה עיוור בלי קשר אליו? זה לא משהו בנפישו בשבילו. אז זה קשור לשלישה הזאתי. לטוס מת, מאצ'י זייף את עצמו. Conceal the fact he could actually see. זה חייב להיות קשור ללמירו. Machi had no reason to pretend he couldn't see. Which means, now it could be.
Good show, Herr Forehead. Think you thought of something.
Figure these things out on my own. Haven't taken my cues from this guy. Very well. Look at this. This is why he's pretending he couldn't see. Sightseeing מספיק. הפובליסטי קוד אומר שלמי וור בעצם יכולה לראות כי היא הפיינטר או whatever. אבל...
Is Lammy War?
Lammy War and Machi Tobaya! Recall their relationship. In particular, their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country.
Lammy War and her pianist will always walk together, she leading him by the hand.
אבל בעצם הוא היה יכול לראות. אז זה אומר שמי שהיה עיוור מבין שני אלה זה למי וור, לא מאצ'י.
Even when they go on stage, she would lead him to the piano. She would walk all the way over there with him.
That's right. Because he was blind. She led him at all times, never let him go.
All times?
Yet, we have just learned something that makes the arrangement particular indeed. Machi could see. Why do they have to keep up this act the whole time?
Well, was that a part of their performance?
I think there's a simpler explanation. Machi did not need to be led by the hand at all. That can only mean one thing.
Really?
Really? It was all the other way around. You all needed to be led by the hand. What's the Lammy War? What's this? You mean to say that Lammy War is... Jeez. Yes, Your Honor. Lammy War is blind. What? Ken, wow. Or. This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin. Is it now? Please shed some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim. The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it is not a vast in vain this time. He's quite correct. But that makes no sense. Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter and sound or something? Well, since we have her here. But why not ask Lammy War herself? I believe she's still in the witness waiting room. Paulo, what does this mean for our case? Don't ask me. I had no idea she couldn't see. I didn't even imagine it up until now. Bailiff, bring in Lammy War. Round 2, bitches. Lammy War. It pains me to deeply call you before us again in this way. And yet I must. Please do not be... oh my god, fuck. Please, do not be concerned on my behalf. Those eyes. She really can't see? Really? It is true. How funny it is that a tiny lie born in the Borginian countryside would one day grow to be entangled the entire world. So you are. Yes, as I mentioned before. I had no memory of the time before I became Lammy War. Know, too, that my memories begin in darkness. The word light has no meaning for Lammy War. I see. You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial, her forehead. What's that? I believe I said it was unfortunate. This crime had no direct witnesses. Matata, literally אמרת אין witnessing. Oh. Now, Lammy War, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes? Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor? Yes, of course. I admit I'm a little lost here. I think we're all a bit lost here, Your Honor. Lammy War's eyes. I have no memory of the light. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. Ma? So, silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but not others. But this is a murder trial. I apologize. It was part of my contract, you see. I was to keep my blindness a secret, no matter what. Music is everything for me. I never imagined something like this would. She told us the truth in the beginning, when she said she saw nothing. Very well. Does the defense have anything to add? Oh, I'll back with another fuck. I like to cross-examine. But what is there left to ask? There was one thing in her testimony that bothered me. Perhaps it would be best you let to get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself. Very well. The defense may proceed. However, be aware this court will not tolerate any question deemed too stressful to the witness. Okay. There was only one part that bothered me. Just let me ask me about that, and I'll be happy. And the memory, we will look at the world of darkness. But this came up with the PR line. That was my pretended I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others.
Hold it!
When you say your staff, do you include Mr. Latouche? Of course, he was my manager. But I know. And that's what's been bugging me. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? I believe I know what it is bothering our young defense attorney. You're thinking of when you discovered the body, yes? Is he right, Apollo? Yes, I was. Well, man can't see if they should mail a witness. Mr. Latouche told me to ask the witness, and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind. I don't know. What did I just say? You'd learn to think for yourself. Meaning what? There's no mystery here if you recall everything he said. Woman can't see. לפני שהוא מדבר על witness is siren. Think of his last words one more. The witness siren? You've heard them many times. Along with a little play acting by our defense. But Ashka Apollo said it. Okay. I remember them well myself, but that statement is not what I refer. I mean what he said before that. Before? I came before that. Ah! That's right. He tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness. I see. Too bad the defense did not. Well, her forehead? Try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time. Ah! What was that, all? Order! Recall Lamiro's earlier testimony. You couldn't do anything to stop it. But she couldn't have heard those gunshots. Ugh! I thought we proved that. That is not the most important point here. The moment he was shot, Mr. Latouche witnessed her through the window. What else would he have named her as the witness? Ah! I really did hear them. 2 gunshots, and the man's voice. Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. I'd already run in simulation, of course. Ah, עכשיו אתה אומר למה זה לא עובד. God damn it.
But it was so clear. If I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant.
You're wrong. What is it, bailiff? Can you see we're in session here? I have the result back from the investigation. Investigation? Ah, the Interpol number that Mr. Letus left us. Well, let's hear it. We'll continue this cross-examination afterward. Detective Crescent, your report, please. I asked Interpol about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing.
Quick work as always, Darian.
Well, tell us about the number. Is it the defendant's secret agent? Is the defendant a secret agent? IPXX 314206. Agent registered under this number was Romain Letus. What? Our undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Letus himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation. So when he wrote those letters, he was trying to tell us his own identity. And a cautious killer tried to wipe them away.
Mr. Letus was an undercover Interpol agent. So him being Lemmy War's manager
Was just a cover, most likely. There's one other important detail I found.
Well, out with it.
It concerns that 45 caliber revolver, the murder one. Apparently it belonged. What was up? אוקיי, חזרתי, ונראה שהלייב, כאילו על פי איך שרואים את זה בלייב, הוא בערך 20 דקות מאחורה, בין 20 דקות לחצי שעה מאחורה, שזה כיף, אבל אני רוב הסיכוי מעלה את הסרטון ככה, אז זה לא משנה. Apparently, it belonged to Romain Letus. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms. And the registration number on the revolver matched.
So the victim was killed with his own weapon. Which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who is an Interpol agent with such a large revolver.
So the victim was an Interpol agent on an undercover cop, on an undercover op. I wonder how that ties into everything.
It's got to tie in somehow, you'd think.
Yeah, somehow. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help. Oh, no problem, Your Honor. No problem at all. I'll be heading out. Whoa! Hold it! Me. Oh! Wait. Lemmy War? Is something the matter?
That voice just now. Darian? Mr. Darian, is it? It was him. I'm sure of it.
What? It was him?
You're insane! That voice I heard, talking to Mr. Latus. When I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darian.
Is this some kind of a joke? What? What the fuck? No way. Whoa, Mazek! Going to return to such a chaotic stage, trial had to be suspended temporarily. I've never seen that happen before. Of course, it's not every day that you get an accusation like that one. Lemmy War, figure Darian Crescent. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective. Could it really have been his voice Lemmy War heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure if I could keep up with it. Hey, no whipping out now, Apollo. To be continued. Okay, wow! Day 2, Day Investigation. אוקיי, אז זה הולך הסיום של הפרק של היום. אז זה כיף. אז, כאן היה ירין, ניפגש בסרטון על הבא של ליג אוף גיימס, מקווה שנהנתם, וירין אאוט. ביי חברים, מקווה שאתם נהנים. והסיבה שזה פי 2 יותר קצר זה בגלל החלק השני. ביי ביי!